Hi friends, as you know, I'm Vikas Watt from Work Consulting, that is Value Added Training Systems and Consulting. So in today's session, we'll talk about HR Analytics, which is usually most underestimated and misunderstood topic among our HR fraternities. So let's try to understand what exactly HR Analytics is. And in this particular session, we will like to cover more about the awareness about HR Analytics, what it is not, how to do HR Analytics. That of course requires a lot of effort, bigger courses, and the project works. So yeah, I assure you, after this particular session, you will know what exactly it is, and if you are working with some other external consultants, you will be able to make sure that you get the right work done. First, most important thing for us HR professionals, that HR Analytics paves the way for us from CHRO to CEO. If as an HR professional, I want to go to the boardroom, I cannot do this without going into analytics. People analytics, HR analytics, business analytics, and all kind of data, whatever are generated in the organization, I should be able to make sense out of them if I want to go into the boardroom. So that's the most important reason why we should give more impetus and importance to HR analytics. So let's start with understanding what's happening in the world, what all people are analyzing, what all people are assessing, why they are doing whatever they are doing related to people analytics. So I'd like to show you a video that will give you some idea about at what level people analytics is happening throughout the world.
Seconds.
That's how we use HR analytics whenever we want to enhance the performance. It might be related to any HR process or any other process in the organization. Whenever we want to enhance the performance, we bifurcate it into different sub-processes and evaluate them using the data. So that is what we do with people or HR analytics. So our agenda for this session, the introduction, need and scope of HR analytics, different metrics, their levels, why and how we use them, what is measured, why it is measured, how it is measured. Is the predictive analysis really possible? I'll give you some case studies based on that. And of course, case studies, rather caselets. So some examples of the use case scenario of HR Analytics by some good companies. And HR Analytics for you, what exactly you can do with the HR Analytics. So that would be our agenda for this session. So are you with me? Great, let's shoot. What is HR Analytics and what HR Analytics is not? Two important aspects. We'll cover those in this slide. So analytics is not so much about numbers as it is to do with logic and reasoning. So what does it mean? It means analytics is an aptitude. This is aptitude. So what is aptitude? So aptitude is few traits where you are inherently good without being given the training. So there are few people who are good in music, there are few people who are good in connecting with the people, there are few people who are good in remembering the directions, few people are logical oriented, few people are creative, few people are good with maths and numbers. So these are aptitudes, and more or less they remain almost the same throughout the life. You may impact them up to a certain extent, but not much. So most important learning for us, HR analytics, I feel, is more like aptitude, because this has a lot to do with logic and reasoning. The important thing now for us is HR analytics is not for all HR professionals. So if you have your aptitude in logic, analytics, and calculations, then only you should go for it. Otherwise, it is not for each and everybody. If you are HR professional, not necessarily you will succeed in HR analytics. So that's the most important thing you need to remember. Analytics is different from analysis. Now, analytics requires use of carefully constructed metrics. What are metrics and how we make them, how we use them. So analytics is different from analysis. How it is different, that we'll see in the coming slides. Analytics requires the use of carefully constructed metrics. So metrics are the building block of analytics, people analytics or HR analytics. They are the building blocks. We use metrics to help the data make sense and for all the predictive analysis we do. So what are metrics and how we use them, that we learn in this session. HR Analytics is data-based. It uses past data to predict the future. So we use the past data to take decisions in the present and impact the future. How we do it, I'll show you some case studies regarding those pointers. So it is not about the quantity of data churned. It's not about the quantity of data. It's about logic used to link the different metrics. So how we use the logic, that is more important in analytics. So we'll see all of these things through examples one by one. And yeah, that is the most important part, because most of the HR professionals, when they come up with a question, usually the question is this software good? I should go with R. I should go with Python, or which software should I go with? So HR Analytics has nothing to do with the software. They are just a tool. You have to do a journey. So you want to go through car, you want to take a cab, you want to go through metro, you want to take a plane. So ultimately the purpose is to reach there. So in different journeys, there will be different vehicles which will be more useful, economical, and faster. So based on that, you have to take the decision. But if you are just starting with HR Analytics, I think for a year or 2-3 years, maybe Excel will be best for you. You need not go anywhere else than Excel if you're just starting. So whatever data you have, Excel will be sufficiently able to process that, and it will be easy for you. Metrics. The core of HR Analytics is metrics. Whatever we do in HR Analytics, we do through different metrics. Now, what are metrics? That we learn here. What are metrics? Metrics can be said as data that conveys meaning. So when we convert a data into a meaningful statement, that is metrics, because data is useless unless it can provide us with some useful and actionable intelligence. For example, employee turnover is 13.5% this year. So this is data. This tells you that this year employee turnover is 13.5%. But you cannot take any action based on this data, because what this data does not tell you is it high or low compared to your previous year, compared to market, compared to your competitors, or maybe you just want to increase it or decrease it. So compared with your expectations, where it is. So it doesn't give you any insight. So this is just the data. Now, when we convert this into a metric, we'll say there is 4% point rise in attrition rate this year. So now this makes some sense. Okay, this year the attrition has increased. This is metric. Next level, analytic. Here we'll say reason. Why something has happened. Inappropriate leadership style of the select managers resulted in higher attrition of 4% on a year-to-year comparable basis. So that is analytics. When you have data that makes sense, comparable through metric, and the reason why, so that you can take the appropriate actions based on whatever data you have. So these are the difference between data, metric, and analytics. So in HR Analytics, these are the terms we use very often. Okay, interesting. So analytics is a continuum. At what level you are doing. So many times, a lot of times people think we are doing analytics in HR, but they are not doing it. So they are just at reporting level. So how does it work? So there are two parameters, business value. So business value can go high and low. So this is business value. High business value you need, and then you can have complexity, low to high, and then you can have perspective, past to future. So if you want to keep future perspective so that you can impact the future results and high business value, then you have to go upward in the ladder. You have to come out of the reporting level. So reporting is what has happened. What happened? So attrition is this, absenteeism is this, we have trained so many people, we had so many people, overall performance rating is this, on bell curve this is the result. So all these things are just the reporting. Business value almost nil, because perspective perspective is past, whatever has happened. Analysis, that's the next level in the ladder. Why did it happen? A slightly high complexity, better perspective. This is present. We are talking about present. In present, why did it happen? And there is some business value, so that we can, for the future at least, we can take some decisions and impact the future. So that's the second level, analysis. Then we come to monitoring, real-time monitoring. What is happening now? So this is perspective, better perspective, more complex and more business value. What is happening today? So instead, some metrics, some reports tell me after a quarter or a year, this has happened. Say performance management system. After 1 year, my HODs give me rating about their juniors. So I cannot do anything about it. But yeah, if I can monitor that real time, and we have been able to do it to our to the partners with whom we have worked, that we can see the performance or any metric, any key metric using HR Analytics, you can see on your dashboard in real time and take appropriate decisions. This is more complex, perspective is better, and that's why business value is very high. And last, prediction, what will happen? So based on past data, what would happen? And if I want to change that, I can take decisions now, and through real-time monitoring, I can say it, whether it's getting changed or not, and I can go into PDCA mode and make sure that whatever change I want, it is happening. So more business value if we need, we have to go into more complex metrics and better or future perspective. So this is a continuum. So I would request that you should give a thought that most of the metrics you measure in HR or in your organization, what level they are. Just you are reporting what has already happened. You're doing some analysis, why did it happen? And you are doing real-time monitoring so that you can see whether it's changing, or after 1 year again it will be a surprise, nothing has happened. And then prediction, what would happen, right? So one of the, our clients, they are almost 12,000 employees. They hired 2,500 young millennials each year. So now the question is, when, in which year and in which month the number of millennials will surpass the old people? So now this is interesting. And what will happen then? So now they are more in numbers, their expectations are different, the way they work is different. Now what will happen? So this is predictive, and we can start working on it now, that in 2023 August or October, these people will be higher in number, and these are the changes we should bring in, and we can start from now, so that this is a slow curve and there are no knee-jerk reactions. So that's how we can use the HR analytics in different ways. Okay, making it more complex, HR Analytics Continuum. Again, the same parameters, business value. Now I am giving the metrics. Business value, complexity, perspective. You want business, better business value, higher business values like this. For that, you need futuristic approach and more complex metrics. So let's take example of some of them. Attrition. Now this is reporting level. Attrition is reporting level because it has already happened. So business value almost nil because this is reporting level, and complexity is very easy. You can always find attrition, and perspective is past. But now if you want to bring in some business value into it, we will go to attrition prediction. How interesting. So here you like to combine a lot of metrics. For example, what is the attrition in the new joinees, how many new people you are going to hire, attrition among different departments, different locations, and how many people will be there, what are the factors affecting the attrition, and then using statistical tools like regression or multiple regression, you find out attrition. And yes, with HR Analytics, you not only find what will happen in the future, you also find that how much accurate your prediction is. So you can also find that, okay, this is my future attrition, and the accuracy rate is 80%, 85%, 75%. That also will come to know. So that makes sense for us now. Then hiring no-shows prediction. We have hired somebody and they don't come. So if you want to predict, we can go there. Again, lot of business value. Complexity is little low. Good metrics for TA. and candidate stability prediction. Now, higher the business value, more complex it is. So using HR Analytics, you can also find out when a candidate joins, when would he leave? And you'll also come to know how much percent accurate your this prediction is. Right. So this is a complex metric, but yeah, many organizations have done it successfully, and up to 75 to 80% accuracy they have been able to predict. Another example, trainings. So how many number of days training you have done, each employee based on competency, without competency. So all that past data, almost no business value. You have just spent the money, no ROI is there, low complexity, and nothing to take out for the future. But if we convert this into something interesting, performance tracking. Now this is futuristic, little complex, that makes some sense for us. If we track the performance, that is the third metric we are talking about. First was related to attrition, second was related to training. If training we want to make more complex and useful, then that will be related to training impact assessment, calculating the ROI of the training, and the reverse integration. For example, I want these processes to be impacted, or I want this ROI from my training programs. Now, to bring in these ROI, what business processes have to be impacted, and for that, which behavioral variables I should select or competencies I should select to train people on. So now I'm making it more complex, but then I can calculate the business impact and ROI. And we have developed our model where we are even able to predict training impact. We are able to predict the ROI from a training without even conducting it. So this is all pure mathematics. And if you go through some lengthier course of HR Analytics, you will learn how to do these things. So third metrics we are talking about is performance tracking. Okay, this is important. We track the performance of the people. Slightly complicated, low performer management, more business value. So we have done these kind of products a lot many times that there are a lot of people in a department, mostly sales or operations, and some few of them are performing good, few of them are not performing good, most of them are in the average. So our first preference is that take all of them above average. So if they are into three zones, green zone, orange zone, red zone. So nobody on performance criteria, on KPI, nobody should be in the red zone. So that should be the first preference. And once we use analytics, we can find out when we'll be able to do it and what will be the spend and what will be the ROI. Most important thing, HR Analytics helps HR professionals to make business case out of anything. So that means whatever money you are asking from the management for any program, it can be training, it can be something in TA, engagement, or whatever process you want to optimize in HR, you will be able to present your views, ideas as a business proposal, that how much business impact this new initiative will bring in, and that helps you arrange the money for the new initiative. Because as you know, management will always ask, what is the ROI? And if you are able to calculate the ROI, that helps bringing in a lot of changing in the HR department. On the same track, performance tracking, more complex and more business value, high performer segmentation. So I'm able to find out who are the high performers and why they are high performers. I am able to copy those competencies, find those competencies, and train other people on those competencies. So more complex, more business value. So broadly, you can say why HR Analytics, why we do it. 4 major parameters are there: measurement and manage. We measure stuff, lot of HR processes, so that we can manage them better. We want return on our investments. Performance improvement, performance in any HR or non-HR process, and linkage of business objectives to people strategies. So they are broadly the reasons why we do HR Analytics. Now, some case studies. As I told you, I'll give you an example. So about employee engagement. So most of HR professionals, they want to do a lot of things under engagement, and very seldom they are able to justify to the management why that should be done. What is the ROI? So now, if you take the example of some companies, they have been able to convert the engagement into money, into revenue, right? So they have been able to find out that 0.1% increase in employee engagement. I repeat, 0.1% increase in employee engagement equals to $100,000 at Best Buy. So they have been able to reach up to this minute level. So now if HR department to save to get the ROI of $100,000, if they present some initiative that requires $25,000, management will be happy to do it. Employee churn prediction. So Sprint again has identified the factors which foretell that which employee will leave after a relatively short time. So they know the factors that which employee will leave, and maybe that can also be used during the talent acquisition process. Interesting. In sports again, because there is a lot of money in sports, so a lot of things happen there. So wherever there is money, a lot of analytics happen there. So in AC Milan, so they have tracked up to 60,000 data points of their players. So they track up to 60,000 data points of each player. So that would, I think that would include everything: how many cold drinks, how many hours or minutes or seconds of sleep, which direction they are sleeping, to how many stairs they are climbing, to how many hours of practice, to how many friends, how many social posts. They track almost everything, and using the software tools, they are able to find out what is best in journal and what is best for each of them individually. This is interesting for talent acquisition. So till now we have been thinking good scores, good marks means everything is good in the candidate, and that's why we try to hire from the good institutes also. But now companies like AT&T and Google, they have found that apart from the marks, instead of the marks, ability to take initiative is far better predictor of high performance on the job. So now if an organization, I'm going in certain institutes for hiring, and these institutes select students based on marks. So maybe there are some other students who are not selected in the selected institutions where my company is going, but they were good at ability to take initiative, which is better performer, predictor of high performance on job. So I need to revisit my TA process. And also what you can do is, if you are hiring people and through campus students, so maybe after 1, 2, and 3 years, you would like to find out whatever was their rank in the hiring process. Suppose you hired 50 people, so who was ranked 1, 2, 3, and the 50th ranked person. So after 1, 2, and 3 years, in their PMS also, do they maintain the same ratio, the same correlation? Do they have the same correlation? They maintain the same rank? If not, and if the correlation is negative, mean who was somebody who was at 49th or 50th position, now he is in top 10. That means maybe the people whom you left, they would have been better in your organization. So that's how analytics, HR Analytics helps us keeping our processes optimized. What problems HR Analytics solve? So a lot of problems related to how to increase something, decrease something, related to KPIs in HR, non-HR departments. How would X impact Y? X is some policy, can be some initiative. If I bring in this initiative, what will be the impact? Why to do something, why not to do something, some policy initiative change, anything. What related to what? Was that a good decision? Would that be a good decision? How this particular decision or process impacts some other process? So wherever you want to find these things in quantitative terms, in form of metrics, there you use HR Analytics, right? What happens if I do this? What happens if I don't do this? What happens if organization does this? What happens if organization does not do something? So all these answers problems you can solve using HR Analytics. So now you can think about your problems. If you are thinking about something, now this is COVID time. If you want to do something, little restructuring, salaries, or anything you want to do, so you can always use HR Analytics to do the right thing. How to solve these problems? So there are statistical tools we use, and of course that will require a lot of time to go through them. So if you, till now, if you have found that HR Analytics can be useful for you, then you can join a longer course on HR Analytics, and you'll come to know about all these things, plus some live projects you would do, and then you'll be able to get the metrics and results. Bottom line, there is nothing more powerful for a business than managing tomorrow today by properly applying analytics to its human capital. And yeah, from here I remember, we, as HR people, we never have to use people analytics. What we have to do is analytics for people. The thing about it, what is generally measured today or tracked in HR? Mostly HR people, they like to track and measure employee engagement, performance ratings, retention turnover, and blah, blah, blah. What could be analyzed? Almost all the HR processes. And also, once you know the analytics, you can go into non-HR processes also. What next? Now, after this session, what's next for you? One, if you want, you can have HR Analytics awareness session that will be bigger, almost 2 hours for your complete HR department, so that after that you can have brainstorming and find out if some HR process you like to analyze, or do you like to establish HR Analytics department, or something you like to do related to HR Analytics, and do you have needs for something related to it. So all the HR department people, they are at the same platform, so you can go for one awareness level session, not a course, awareness level session. So that should be the next. HR Analytics course. Now, till now, whatever you have seen, learned, if you think that is useful for you, you can go for HR Analytics course, and that will help you. Of course, you should go for a course where you get complete hand holding, and they are live projects, and you do something at your own. This is maths. This is more like mathematics. So if you don't do anything, within 2-3 months, you'll forget everything. HR Analytics audit. So if you want to find out that in my organization, where HR Analytics is best fit, which particular HR process can be best optimized using HR Analytics. So if you want to go for HR Analytics audit of your HR department, so you can write a message to us, and then we'll start discussing this, how we can do it, and do you have a need for that. And the last, HR Analytics outsourcing. So if you have already found something is important for you in HR Analytics, and you don't have bandwidth, or your people don't have time to do that, or you need more expert level advices, then of course you can outsource your HR Analytics. And for that also, you can be in touch if you want, and we can see if we can help you in that. So there are some metrics. You can go through them very fast, and if you require them, you can write a comment or send us a mail, and we'll send that in PDF. So what all metrics can be used and assessed in recruitment, in retention, in performance and career management, training and development. So these things are covered in longer courses. Compensation and benefits, workforce, organizational effectiveness, advanced analytics, predictive, what all done. So these all things are done when we do a longer level course, and I think that should be enough till now. So thank you very much, and I think it was fun talking to you, and I'm sure whatever we have discussed, that will be useful for you. And if you have any more questions, or you want to be in touch for further learning, you can always write us, leave a comment with us, and we'll love to help you with anything related to HR Analytics. Thank you very much.